What's going on, everybody? I hope you're having a blessed and beautiful day today. So much news is coming out today. It is not even funny, and it's almost hard to keep up, but I am trying. I have a few things that I want to go over today. I have something that I posted on my Facebook, and it's from the Temple Institute. I wanted to read for you what they're doing today. And this has been an ongoing thing all day long. But they were having a reenactment sacrifice. It says from the Temple Institute, it says Passover Offering Reenactment 2021 Introduction. So I wanted to read this for you. And again, this has been going on all day. I've been posting about this. They've been posting pictures. There's one of them that they posted an hour ago, and it showed the temple. Oh, what do they call them? The temple priests, and they were in all of their garb, and they had the menorah in there, and they were practicing lighting the menorah and doing the sacrificial, or the hand washing, the feet washing, and all of that stuff, and they were practicing like how to light the menorah in the proper way and stuff like that. But I wanted to go ahead, and we'll start off with this one that they posted 9 hours ago. That I shared, and it says, yesterday, March 23rd, or 10 of Nisan, the Temple Institute, in cooperation with other temple organizations, performed our annual Passover offering reenactment ceremony in Jerusalem's Old City, just inside the Dung Gate, some 10 meters from the Temple Mount. This was the first reenactment in 2 years. Last year, the corona forced the cancellation of the reenactment. This year, the number of spectators was limited due to the virus guidelines. In addition, due to the fact that the ceremony was held within Jerusalem City, health ordinance prevented the participation of live lambs in the reenactment. A previously slaughtered and prepared lamb was roasted in an open oven, and the Torah commandment to roast the lamb whole. This took place at the conclusion of the ceremony. The reenactment was performed by temple priests, student of the Temple Institute, the Academy of Kohanic Studies, at the direction of Rabbi Ariel, founder and head of the Temple Institute. Other notable rabbis participated in the organization and presentation of the ceremony. The Temple Institute photographer took hundreds of photographs, the best of which we will be sharing with you in the series of posts, which they have. The Temple Times, the Passover offering is done in the afternoon, immediately preceding the Passover Seder. Young lambs or goats were brought by their owners into the inner temple courtyard where they were slaughtered. Their blood was drained into gold and silver basins, known in Hebrew as mizrach, which were swiftly taken to the temple priests, whom have formed a bucket brigade past them from one to another until the final priest dashed the blood. Oops. Oh, man. I accidentally got out of it. Okay. I forgot where I'm at now. Anyways, we'll just keep reading. It's basically going over what the Passover is. I don't even know where I was at. And then there's pictures of them getting ready for this temple sacrifice that they held. And then there was, let me go ahead and get on there because there was another update just an hour ago. 2 hours ago. There's this one. It says, cleaning the 7 oil lamps of the golden menorah, replenishing the oil and rekindling the menorah was part of the daily services of the Holy Temple performed by the Kohanim. Upon rekindling the menorah, the Kohen utters a blessing. Bless God, who is blessed with us, the sanctity of Aaron, and commanded us to light the menorah. There's pictures of that as well. There's another group of pictures that shows all the rabbis that are gathered together for the reenactment. was actually the performance of the commandment itself, priestly commandments that haven't been performed for 2,000 years. There's pictures of that as well. Then 7 hours ago, the first order of the day, serving in the Holy Temple after they have donned their priestly garments and removed the previous day's ashes from the altar to purify their hands and feet with the waters of the copper laver. There's pictures of that. I'm going to post a lot of these pictures too so you can see. Okay, so I'll post some pictures that I have of that so you can see everything that I've been reading and all the pictures that they have, which are just astonishing. I'm just going to briefly go over some of the things, some of the news of the day. Walt Disney World to test facial recognition technology at the Magic Kingdom entrances. Cigna Health Insurance Company tells managers to avoid hiring white men. I saw that on the news yesterday. They also want to make sure that they don't hire anybody that is a Christian who is also a conservative. I saw that also. Let me see if it says it in here. I'll briefly read this for you. Here it is. It says the company cited leaked training documents and chat logs. The outlet noted that Cigna Healthcare employees are also expected to undergo racist and discriminatory sensitivity training on topics such as white privilege, gender privilege, and religious privilege. Chat logs between an employee and a hiring manager viewed by the Washington Examiner detailed an incident where a minority candidate with strong credentials performed exceptionally well in an interview. When that employee suggested to the hiring manager that the company waive the candidate through the next steps in the process, the hiring manager dismissed the candidate under the assumption he was white. After learning that the candidate belonged to a minority group, the manager said she was excited to hire him despite learning virtually nothing else about his background. So they're discriminating also based on religious, what you choose to worship, I guess, Christianity. HarbingersDaily.com posted surrender of all moral standards. Another city council officially recognizes polygamy as as being legal. And there was another one. This one is thepolicetribune.com. This one says the White House officials, including VP Harris, want mandatory buybacks for assault weapons. Notice the word mandatory, right? Washington, D.C., several of the top people in President's administration, including VP Camel, want mandatory gun buybacks and have said they support seizing so-called assault weapons. President called for voluntary gun buyback programs and forcing weapon owners to register assault weapons under the National Firearm Act. VP Camel has said she would support mandatory gun buybacks and that would force Americans to surrender certain weapons in exchange for money. I think it's a good idea, she said, when asked about mandatory buybacks. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki, Deputy Chief of Staff Jennifer O'Malley Dillon, and Cedric Richmond, Director of the Office of Public Engagement, all said before they were hired that they would support forcing U.S. citizens to surrender their firearms. That's something I would not rule out. These are weapons of mass destruction, Richmond said in 2019 when he was asked about mandatory buybacks. He was a congressman from Louisiana at the time. He made the remarks. So if it's a buyback, then I'm all for it, he explained. If it's a mandatory buyback, I think you may run into some complications, but the thought of it does not offend me, and it sounds like something I could support. The White House press secretary jumped on board the Beto O'Rourke gun confiscation train during the campaign. blank, yes, we are going to take your AR-15s, AK-47s, O'Rourke said during one of the Democratic debates. Psaki enthusiastically tweeted her support for O'Rourke's gun confiscation plan. "Thank you, O'Rourke. Take guns," Psaki tweeted. "Please, no one needs an assault weapon. This is a crisis." O'Malley Dillon actually worked for the O'Rourke campaign and extolled the virus of mandatory buybacks on multiple occasions. "We are actually the only campaign with a plan that supports mandatory buybacks of weapons of war. An assault weapon ban is very important and we need to have it, but that only takes weapons of war off the streets in the future. It takes them and it gives them to people who are criminals. Because if you don't have your guns, who is going to? It's going to be the people that are in power. They will be using your guns and you won't." So we're going to do a little history lesson too, because remember I was saying that history repeats itself. And there was a time back in, maybe 1935 to 1940, where something like this has happened and everything was confiscated and taken away, and people were not able to protect themselves. And look where it got them. Okay, we're going to do a little history lesson, just a brief one. Okay, we're going to do a little history. Okay, this is a background information on things that happened in Germany in 1930, and I want you to see if there's any similarities to what is happening here in America, and if it's not the same tactics that they used in Germany as they are using right now. And we can see again that history repeats itself over and over again, and it's only going to grow, and there's a reason behind it. So this says, few German citizens owned or were entitled to own firearms in Germany in the early 1930s. The Weimar Republic having strict gun control laws. When the Nazi Party gained power, some aspects of gun regulations were loosened, such as allowing firearm ownership for Nazi Party members and military only. The laws were tightened in other ways, however. Nazi laws systemically disarmed unreliable persons, especially Jews, but relaxed restrictions for so-called ordinary citizens. The policies were later expanded to include the confiscation of arms in occupied countries. According to gun rights activist Neil Knox, the Nazi gun control hypothesis was first suggested by J. Simkin and Jews for the preservation of firearm ownership. Let's see here. He wrote a book that was published in 1992. In it, he compared the German gun laws of 1928 and 1938 and the U.S. congressional hearings for what became the Gun Control Act of 1968. In a 2000 article, NRA attorney Stephen Holbrook said he was presenting the first scholarly analysis for the use of gun control laws and policies to establish the I don't know if I can say it, the Hitler regime, and to render political opponents, and especially German Jews, defenseless. In the article, he cites that Hitler quoted, "The most foolish mistake we could possibly make would be to allow the subject races to possess arms." Other gun advocates such as Holbrook, Zellman, and National Rifle Association leader Wayne LaPierre have proposed that Nazi Party policies and laws were an enabling factor in the Holocaust and prevented its victims from implementing an effective resistance. Associate Professor of Criminal Justice Dylan McGuire wrote in her 2011 book, "It is frequently argued that these laws, which resulted in the confiscation of weapons not belonging to supporters of the Nazis, rendered the Jews and their disfavored groups like the Gypsies, homosexuals, Poles, and their potential allies defenseless, and set the stage for the slaughter of the Holocaust that followed." The Nazi gun control argument has been used as a security against tyranny argument in the U.S. gun policies. Legal scholar and historian Robert Cottrell has argued that other authoritarian regimes, such as the I don't know, it's a German name. His last name is Rogue, could have been inhabited by more private gun ownership. In 2011, open letter from David Benroy, who was a rabbinic director of JPFO, to then New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg, asked, "Are you aware that the Nazis disarmed Jews prior to the Holocaust, and that those same Nazi gun laws are the foundation of the U.S. Gun Control Act of 1968. In October of 2015, U.S. Republican presidential candidate Ben Carson said that Hitler's mass murder of Jews would have been greatly diminished if Germans had not been disarmed by Nazis. In February 2018, U.S. Republican Representative Don Young proposed the question how many Jews were put in the ovens because they were unarmed. Okay, so if you wanted to look this up, I got this off of Wikipedia, but this is everywhere. I mean, you can find this literally anywhere. You can look under U.S. gun policies. You will see that there is a exact replica of what they did in Germany, an exact replica, that want to disarm their citizens. And what happens when you disarm your citizens is you have nobody to protect yourselves. The guns go in the hands of criminals and those in charge. They will be using your guns on you. And when you have, in the state of affairs that are happening now, we have, the Antichrist rising. And if you want to think of it this way, the Antichrist cannot have people that are armed, because there has to be a way for people, criminals, to... Okay, so if you have people that are armed to the teeth, okay, they have guns, loaded high, the likelihood of being overtaken is a stretch. But if you have people that come in and seize your guns or offer buybacks for your guns, how easy is it going to be for you to give up your guns? And you have a lot of people that, may be married or have a parent or whatever that don't like the fact that you have a gun, or, and they can give it up. Look at just the situation that's going on now with the teasing and the tempting of, if you get this jab, we'll give you whatever. If you get this jab, we'll pay you whatever. So you have, that's why they say money is the root of all evil. And you have people that are standing in line for hours and hours just to get the jab for benefits of whatever. So if they can so easily stand in line for hours to get, stuck, who's to say that they won't give up their guns freely, right? If they make it more appetizing, we'll give you money, we'll give you, people have been out of work. This virus has caused a lot of people to lose their jobs, lots of businesses to close, and people are very, they want their money. They want money, and they're seeking funds of some kind. So it's going to be very easy for them. Oh, you just want my guns and you'll give me that much? Here you go. They're not going to think twice. They're going to be so hungry and their bills need to be paid that they're not going to think about it, and they're just going to do it, not realizing that they're walking into a trap. And it's this, like I said, it's the same thing that's been happening since the 1930s and 40s with the Hitler regime and the things that happened there. And here we go again. We have somebody in office right now that is very hungry to get this on board, get this going. I won't hesitate to mandate it, and if not, confiscate. And I know for myself, we are a gun-owning family, and, we do it out of protection. And, I'm not, I'm not giving up my guns. I'm sorry, but no, no amount of money is going to make us give up what we have. So, that it is what it is. So, but unfortunately you have people that will. And like I said, you have people that are out of work, and they're going to be hearing, they'll get, let's just say, I don't know, I'm just speculating. Let's just say, we'll give you $2,500 per gun, or we'll give you $3,000 per gun. most of the time, not all, but most of the time, people have more than one weapon in their house. So you figure, okay, $3,000 a pop. Heck yes, that's, a lot of money. So that's just what I'm speculating. But I mean, I'm just trying to say, look how easy it was for people to fall into this foolishness of, we'll give you free donuts if you can show us your pass, or, if you want to go to the baseball game, or if you want to go, to the movies, or if you want to go, to these events, then go get your jab, and people are just falling all over for it. So this won't be it won't be a hard thing. But I wanted to give you that little history lesson so you can see that it's the same that's happening. It's just a different regime, different time frame, different regime, same concept, everything that's behind it is the same. Again, if you wanted to look that up, it is U.S. gun policies. You can look that up, or Wikipedia under gun policies. Let's see. Well, I looked up the gun policies. I'm not going to go through it. It's a long thing. But they've been gun grabbing for quite a few years. As far as I can remember, I think it's more upticked since Obama, but I could be wrong. I'm sure that they've tried to gun grab before, but it's really happened really since Obama. And now we've got somebody in office that is definitely going to do it, because that's just how they are. So be prepared for that if we are still here. I don't see us here for very much longer. There's just so much going on. And I think in my community tab, I had something in there about Walmart and how they want to do something with like a green pass or something, where you have to show your jab records and stuff like that, which that's just, there's nothing new. It's just popping up slowly but surely, but it's soon, and very soon it's going to be, you can't buy or sell, you can't enter, you can't do anything without it. You're going to be segregated. The people that didn't get it are going to have to stay away from those that did, and those that did will have more rights than those that don't, and you have to stay home because there's nothing you can do. So anyways, I wanted to share some of those topics with you guys. Again, I'll share some videos, the pictures from the Temple Institute, so you can see what they've been doing all day. It's quite interesting. I think that they are, if I'm not mistaken, I think that they're going to go through the entire thing. I want to say on Friday. I think what they did today was just a rehearsal, and then they're going to do the entire thing on Friday, which you can watch if you want to on their website. I believe it's thetempleinstitute.com. I particularly don't want to see it because it's something that's an abomination. I don't want to see it, but some people do. So anyways, guys, I love you. I hope you are having a blessed and beautiful day, and continue praying with me, guys. I pray every day that the Lord Jesus Christ come, and that he takes his bride home, and that we are at the end of our dispensation of grace, and that we will be on our way to being home. So just keep praying with me, guys, and just keep looking up and know that Jesus is coming soon. So I love you guys, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.